Town and Community Committee on Tuesday, the 20th of January. Welcome to all our viewers on the Biddulph Town Council YouTube page. This meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Biddulph Town Council YouTube page. The aim is that decision making should be transparent and in the public domain and will involve more of our community in local democracy. By being in this council chamber, you are consenting to being recorded and for your image to be added to YouTube. The images and sound may be used for training purposes. Any views expressed are the speaker's own and do not necessarily reflect the view of Biddulph Town Council. Please view the guidance on recording in public meetings policy if you need more information. So, item 52, apologies and approval of substitute members. Chief Officer, do we have apologies?
We do. Councillors Salt, Smith and Parks.
Do we have any substitute members?
None. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Declarations of interest, item 53. Do we have any disclosable pecuniary interests and dispensations in any of the items that are on the agenda? I see no hands, therefore I'm assuming no. Do we have any other interests? None declared. Moving on. Item 54, the minutes of the, to find the minutes of the Town and Community Commission meeting held on Tuesday, the 18th of November 2025. These have been to Town Council. Proposer from Councillor Redfern, seconder from Councillor Yates. Show of hands, please. Well, I can sign these minutes. Thank you. Just talk amongst yourselves for a second. How you can do that, Councillor Yates. Not picking on you specifically, Nigel, just so you understand. And today's 2020. Keep it's 2026. Right. Thank you. I can pass those over to you. Right. Okay. And now to receive notes of the Biddulph Works Together meeting held on Wednesday, the 7th of, yes. On Wednesday, the 7th of January. We're just receiving these, so anyone want to speak any comment on it? If not, our proposer that we receive these minutes. Thank you, Councillor Redfern. Got a second? Thank you, Councillor Lawton. Mr. Mayor. Show of hands, please. Thank you very much. Right. Moving on to item 55, events update. I see that the Chief Officer and the Events Officer will tag team on this one. So if we'd like to chat, take it away, ladies. You've got one. Oh, that's anyone. That's for me, is it? Oh, thank you. One of my very own. I feel honoured. Present for you. Yeah. Okay.
Ready to start?
Ladies.
Thank you. So, imminently you will have an A3 sheet in front of you, which has 4 headings. The civic events are those that we do every year. They are the events that we would class as town council events. So you've got within that Civic Sunday, mayor making, annual town meeting, some sort of civic ball or event, a team of the town council, whatever kind of format the Civic Awards takes. Obviously, we lead on remembrance activities. And then in 2026, we'll start a process. We think of election briefings for those who may be new to elections in 2027. Our monthly events are the Feast and Flicks, which is part of our Biddulph Works Together programme. So that's where people come on a Wednesday, second Wednesday of the month. They have a meal together and then choose a film to watch. We are planning, now that we have our town hall frontage complete, to expand our Fresh Food Friday offer. And we've got lots of people who are joining us in the spring who were very keen to take part in that. We have our community cinema on the first Friday of every month, which is Biddulph Scratch. And then on next Tuesday, we are launching Board in Biddulph, which is the board game cafe. I think we'll call it that, board game cafe, which we've certainly planned to run for the next 6 months to see whether there's any uptake for that. So they are our kind of monthly offerings. These, in the planned column, we are hoping to have quarterly business breakfasts. That was one of the asks, which we'll come to later on the agenda, from the businesses that attended before Christmas. We will have a quarterly free loved bike sale as part of our chain reaction offer. Obviously, Classic Vehicle Show, Christmas Lights, Biddle Festival, these are things that are well established within the calendar. We are hoping to bring together in partnership with the social prescribers a new bereavement group, which will include kind of, at the moment, calling it coping at Christmas element. So there'll be some more work there. Obviously, the toy appeal is something we do as part of Biddle for It's Together. Christmas family party was very successful this last year, so that we're thinking will run again. We've had quite a number of requests for a youth market. So that's young people who've started either to do craft or to kind of make or sell some other type of items, whatever they may be. So we're wondering whether to trial some sort of youth market. Excuse me, Chinese New Year will take place again this in February. We've been approached by Outside Art to take part in their Pride in the Moorlands activities. So that's something that we are engaging with them with at the moment. We don't really know what that looks like, but we're kind of keen to have those discussions and keep those partnerships going. You're aware, obviously, that we're doing the Know Your Place work with Staffordshire University and the Skivvies group. We have been asked if the Town Council will be more involved this year with the Festival of Brilliance, and this will be the third year that Festival of Brilliance has run at Biddlefold Hall. And there's a meeting about that tomorrow evening, so we'll be able to provide you with more detail then. In October or November, time flies when you're having fun, we did Mining Voices with Outside Art, and we captured a lot of really amazing stories from people's experiences of mining. So the idea now that we have those recordings of people will be to do something with them, and Outside Arts are very keen to work with us on that. We've talked as part of Biddle Works Together about, and then we haven't really got a name for them yet, kind of preparedness sessions. So when we've been talking to young people who are about to leave their learning within the town, maybe to go on to university or something else, they've expressed some concern that they maybe aren't ready for that. So they don't potentially have much experience in budgeting or understand much about credit cards, or, you know, some of them were a bit concerned about beans on toast. So, you know, we've got those kind of options to talk to people about their kind of what next, but also at the other end as well. So we're talking, you know, a session that we potentially would put together to support people who haven't yet got a will or don't understand lasting power of attorney. So we're exploring some of those options with the partners that are part of Biddle Works Together. We are, as part of Chain Reaction, looking at some opportunities for a bike festival. That would be something that we would play a part in rather than we would specifically launch that. That would be a partnership. And the Ride the Lights event last year was turned out to be really successful. I don't know why I was surprised. You never just know how many people are going to come on these things, do you? But it was absolutely amazing. So people are very keen to do that again, as was Homegrown and Handmade. So we'll do that again in September. Award-winning baker here. And
now you mentioned it.
Yeah. If we've talked to you about a couple of these things as well. We've got a lovely partnership, which we're kind of calling Spring into Making at the moment, which will be in March. And the Yarn Barms are supporting that, and be an opportunity for people to come along, learn how to do some of these amazing crafts, and have a cup of tea and a chat at the same time. So that will be a kind of nice springtime event. So those are things that probably won't be new to you, but we're working on in terms of putting together a calendar. But we also have some ideas, and it's the ideas element that we're keen to kind of pick your brains on, really. I don't know whether you want to run through some of these or you want me to carry on.
Mind? you want to carry on for a bit?
Where to carry?
I don't know.
No, I'm all good. The Rotary Club, the Biddulph Rotary Club have approached us about supporting a triathlon. We don't really know what that looks like at the moment, but it seems like something that would be nice to support.
We may well have in-council expertise on that.
I realised that. I was trying not to look too much.
I'm sorry, I'm looking directly at Councillor Earsley on this one.
The fear of intimidating him too much. We're hoping to have a meeting. Yes, so we'll. Yes, I see that. Good. Careers fair.
Yes, so the DWP hosted a careers fair here. It went really well, and so there's potential to do that and stretch that a little bit to include apprenticeships and things like that, as well as some of the younger people in the town. So that's what that is. Oh, accessibility forum was getting people together who have access issues and finding out how we can make the town more accessible for them, actually. So actually going straight to the people who actually can tell us, and then we can lobby on their behalf and work on things that we can do together and create that forum there. So that. Art and photography. It comes up pretty much every year about should we have a display downstairs of all the amazing photographs that we know people take in this town. We have the calendar, it's always oversubscribed, we get some beautiful pictures. Talked quite a lot about should we have a lovely show downstairs. So that's why that's on.
Have you spoken to the photographic group at the U3A, I think?
I haven't discussed anything, this is the first time.
Maybe a contact point.
This is the first time out with this list. We've talked for a little while, and there were discussions with the Biddulph Festival group about separating some of the music elements from the Biddulph Festival and having a specific music festival potentially within the autumn. There's some logistical issues as regards that. We obviously are not having any planning at this moment. We'd have quite a lot to do, but that's something that's been brought to us before. We're also wondering whether we might try and engage in a different way with people who visit the burial ground, and potentially create a Friends of group, which we would then support here. There's quite a lot of people who visit regularly who I think might appreciate more of a role at the burial ground. So it's whether that starts with an event and we bring them together and just kind of say, actually, what upsets you about it? Is there a corner that you'd like to be responsible for weeding? It's that kind of conversation, and to kind of have potentially greater management from the people who visit all the time. We've done health and wellbeing events before, so we'd like to bring one of those this year. We obviously won't be sure until May who the mayor is, but obviously the next mayor may choose to bring some different ideas. We've obviously got some ongoing discussions with the current mayor. Summer of fun.
Yes, we've been approached a few times over the 6-week holiday, potentially hosting just once a week, say on Wednesday, something on the front for the kids to do. So it would be some kind of free activity. So that could be learning how to do cartoon drawings. You could bring in a mobile climbing wall, different things, and it'd just be an activity that for the children to do over that time. And Halloween. If you were wondering, there's a clue. So currently we helped put on a little Halloween trail for children down at the country park. We do that in conjunction with Kath at the Hideaway, and we obviously have lots of dog walkers in this town. We always asked if we can do something more with pets, and so there is this growing trend to have a Halloween dog walk where you dress your dogs up and you go for a lovely walk. But it is an opportunity not only to see dogs dressed up as ghosts, which would look amazing, but to do some engagement with your people. So if you were talking about green spaces, or if you want to talk about, you've got an opportunity to engage with a group of people that are out and about in your town on a regular basis, walking their dogs. Photos aside, there we are. Scooter Fest came up last year at the Classic Vehicle Show. Should we host a Scooter Fest? essentially. Moorlands Film Festival, we looked at that last year. There's been some changes at the Foxlow. We didn't know if you wanted to look at that again. Do you want to do the...
Yeah, so it's on the agenda as a separate item, but we are wondering whether to do to work in partnership with the Family Hub to do what they call Half Light, and that's holiday activities and food. So we would host something here in the town hall. The Family Hub can apply for funding, and then we would put activities on in partnership. It's just during holiday time, really. And we've talked for a little while about whether to have some kind of send film or send disco. And so we were thinking we might kind of tie those two ideas together.
Town Hall turns 60 in March on the 18th. So we thought we'd need to mark that occasion. So we've had some ideas, but we're open to suggestions. And then we obviously for the last couple of years, we've done the parliamentary prayer breakfast, and we just wondered if you wanted to continue with that and how you saw that going forward. Oh, yeah.
So I think, if I may, Chair, rather than talking through every one of these ideas, a little bit depends how we finalise budgets next week. Because if there's a much reduced events budget, then there'll be a much reduced list. But these are the ideas that people have brought to us, the ideas that we've had as a team in terms of events. There are obviously some in your first kind of 3 columns there that are pretty much our established kind of events plan for the year. If you kind of spend some time thinking about potentially these ideas, and are there any other activities that you'd like us to focus on as a town council, we can have kind of discussions about events every week, every month, don't we, Bob?
Councillor Rogers, you had your hand up at the beginning of this.
Just very briefly, that's all. It looks like an exciting year planned in front of us. Just to say that people are already thinking up to book in for the Classic Vehicle Show, which is on the 12th of September this year. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other comment on the events list? Councillor Redfern.
Yeah, just a couple really on the ideas, and particularly with regard to the music festival and Scooter Fest. I think it's important we don't step on neighbouring authorities' feet. So obviously there is a very large Scooter Fest held at Leek, very successful event, and they also have their annual music festival. We don't want to be clashing, do we, with them? We don't want to be seen as taking away from the fest.
I think that's a very good point. I think the Leek Music Festival is in the late spring, isn't it? I think it's usually in the May. I think we were talking potentially about an autumn music festival. So yeah, I think it's a very good point there that we should be conscious of what's going on around us as well. Thank you. Councillor Yates.
2 things. One, in support of Councillor Redfern there, I think Scooter Fest would be a sort of not quite as good Me Too, to be perfectly honest, because Leek's got the reputation now and it's built over the years of whatever. I mean, you would get a lot of people be fine, but at least got the marketplace set out the store. We've got a little bit of this, but not be cried at. One thing which I thought of after the first vehicle show was perhaps a classic motorbike show, which is along a similar theme. You know, it's a different kind of demographic who's got vehicles, but it would be something different. And with the proliferation, you know, the teddy bear toy ride appeal, so to speak, there's an awful lot of motorcyclists in Stoke, and I'm sure that would be supported and it would fit a little bit more comfortable with me and not being a sort of Me Too in that context. And with the new music festival, I think that's slightly different. When I was mayor, before I had an incident, I was being sort of supported with acts and a little bit of finance from Leek. Mike Gledhill is on the organising committee for the Leek Music Festival to actually bring it over to Biddulph. It was seen as something where they wanted to get away from being completely Leek-centric and actually have something going on in Biddulph and Cheadle and elsewhere for that matter. So I think you'll find that the music sort of organisers at Leek, especially with the folk and blues and things which are related to that, they would be very supportive of providing action, providing assistance, providing expertise. There would be no issue with that, and potentially providing a little bit of funding.
I can add to that as well, because I've been talking to councillors Crawley and Swindlehurst regarding supporting the Middlesbrough Music Festival, because obviously the support they provided to the Leek Beer Festival. So again, I think that's an open door we're pushing on there. So I think they're very supportive of these types of events effectively migrating to other parts of the district. Yeah, become Morelands events rather than Leek events. Okay, thank you. Okay, no one else on this, so shall we move on to the specific events now?
Yes, may I request then, spend some time thinking about this, because at the next meeting, we'll bring you the kind of calendar, essentially. We'll try and slot as many things in, and we'll have some more updates on whatever the triathlon looks like, or, you know, we'll build up some of these ideas. If there's any that you think about over the next couple of weeks that you think, that's no good, that's not for us, or actually there's something else I want to add to that, then do please let us know, and we'll kind of build up the picture with more dates and more detail for the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. So thinking hats on, ready for next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So item B, Chinese New Year.
Thank you. 14th February, supported by the UK Share Prosperity Fund. Delighted to bring this event again. We are also supported by Outside Arts, who are funding an artist to essentially create a dragon. Luna dragon, they're calling it. And they're going to the Family Hub and Biddulph Youth Community Zone. They're coming here, Biddulph Local People's Group, and everyone's going to make a bit of Luna. And then on the day, Luna will be brought together, and then will be fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I have no doubt at all about that. But through the funding that we've had, we've got...
we have some Chinese traditional music. We have some calligraphy. We have a lion dance, umbrella dance and ribbon dance. We have Tai Chi demonstration. We have lots of food and drinks, lots of photo opportunities, and a giant panda.
And
a giant panda. Should you need any more?
What more could you ask for than a giant? Okay.
So we've learned some... Well, last year was fabulous. We've learned some lessons in the sense that actually we probably need to move a little bit more inside as well. So there'll be activities on the front, but we'll be inside as well because it's cold in February.
It is.
And if we ask people to be around for what's essentially a kind of 3-hour period.
On Valentine's Day.
Well, what else are you doing on Valentine's Day?
That is a hole you don't want to dig.
So we'll use the frontage. We haven't got a road closure. We'll use the frontage. We'll use inside. It will be just a really lovely day.
Okay, I've got Councillor Yates and Councillor Norton, and probably almost certainly Councillor Case. Councillor Rogers.
Yeah, thank you. Just quickly again, I don't think we're meeting this committee before the Chinese New Year. So if you want to volunteer, put my name down.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Norton.
Most activities took place in the morning, did they not? When will these take place?
11 till 2. So we've just budgeted an hour.
Councillor Case.
Do we have a plan B if it's raining?
Everything is.
Including the giant panda.
Everyone and everything.
Pull up a bit of forward.
Not by that point, I don't think.
Okay.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. Item C, chain reaction projects.
I've alluded to this a little bit. So the Chain Reaction Partnership continues in the new year. Still lots of enthusiasm amongst the various different partners who are keen on all things bikes. We have tentatively penciled in the Ride the Light for the 23rd of October. That's the Friday before half term, so it won't clash with any Halloween activities. We have also put in 4 bike sales within the town hall. These are the kind of pre-loved bike sales where the Waste Savvy Staffs team bring some amazing bikes and bits of bikes, and people can buy them for kind of £2, £5, £10. So they are kind of every quarter throughout the year, starting in March. So I'm just finalising a couple of those dates. We've talked a little bit about having a bike festival. We're kind of working that up at the moment, but that would hopefully be in the spring as well. So a really positive continuation of the project. We're just working out whether the Move More partnership will continue to receive funding beyond April, as to whether they will continue to be a partner. But actually the rest of the partners are all keen to still be involved.
Thank you. Councillor Yates, want to come in on that?
Yes, with regards to cycling and a spring bike event, still very keen to support the mayor in this charity year by doing some kind of sponsored cycle ride event, you know, and we talked about it with Councillor Rogers. Obviously, Councillor Rogers might be incapacitated from the end of February onwards. So I think making it happen first or second week of April, which is what we did last year, this probably gives us a little bit of time to sort of plan along the lines of a ride, starting off at the Biddle Valley Way and ending at the Biddle Valley Way, basically off road, so to speak, where people either pay a donation to enter or get sponsorship to enter. So that way it would be less onerous. But on the back of the ride to lights, how many people come on, I'd like to think we've got 20, 30 riders sort of trundling along, and you know, with a few volunteers, I think we can certainly put that together. So if we're all looking at some kind of bike festival, we could coordinate all that together as one of the events, and that'll give us the oomph to do it. I just think it wants just a little bit of publicity in a few forms and whatever, and we can crack on and do so to speak. You know.
Thank you, Councillor Yates. Okay. No other comments on that. Okay. So,
Thank you.
Civic Awards. Thank you. Afternoon tea.
We talked about the format of the Civic Awards event that we held in October 24. Not long ago. And we very much liked the opportunity to meet with our voluntary community sector partners and to say to them, thank you. It very much felt as though the event that we did in October was kind of us restating the desire to do something more often. But we wondered whether to change it again slightly this time. We couldn't capture is not the wrong word, but we couldn't get everybody who we wanted to come along because it was a weekday evening, and obviously people had other commitments. So we are proposing to have Saturday, the 28th of February, is an afternoon tea in the town hall. So that will be supported by the mayor, who will be there telling everybody how fabulous they are. And we thought as well, we'll thank all of our lovely partners on that day, but we'll also have nominations which we put out kind of subject to your approval for people. What are the categories? Put you on the spot.
And some categories. What do we have?
Categories that celebrate just being extra marvellous. Which
Okay.
Blank. Hang on.
Okay. Shall we move on then?
Well, we thought about that as a format.
Yeah,
if
okay.
everybody's happy with that as a format, it feels nice.
Yeah.
I mean, there'll definitely be some groups that still can't come on a Saturday, but we will give people the opportunity to.
It's at a weekend. It's a different time of day. It's different. Yes. It'll hopefully hit.
People get nervous about coming out in the dark at this time of year as well, don't they? So it's.
Right, sounds like a good plan. Okay, so you've got holiday activities and food, which I think was on.
Yeah, I referenced that with the previous item, Chair.
Have we covered that?
Well, I think really it's just I'm exploring some opportunities with the Family Hub to do some joint activities, to use the town hall as a base. Actually, they would very much coordinate the activities that came on in that took place here. They can access the holiday activities and food, the half funding, and we'd go for this half light, which is basically where you provide a kind of 2 to 3 hour activity and then some food, which seems like a really nice use of the hall during holidays and kind of fits very well with the bill for it together aspirations as well.
Excellent. Okay, right. So that concludes item 55, events update. So quickly moving on to item 56, which has only got about 5 more minutes left of your time, Chief Officer, to receive feedback from the Bill of Business breakfast and agreed dates for the 2026 meeting.
Thank you. So we had a really nice event actually on the 4th of December. We're never just quite sure how breakfast events are going to go, but it seemed to work really well for those people who have other commitments during the day or commitments at night, depending on what, excuse me, what their activities are. We talked, the aim really was to strengthen relationships with businesses and provide them with the opportunity to come to the town council. I mean, obviously anybody can do that at any time, but a dedicated time for them to come and say, actually, this is what I need support with. And, you know, we are, as you well know, the smallest council in our town and don't have the resources to help with grant funding or, you know, we don't have a dedicated business team, but we do listen very well and we do lobby very well. And that's our forte.
However, this will link in quite well with, I think, something that came out of the Growth and Economy Committee in terms of the Rural Regeneration Fund. And it was highlighted that to ask them to speak to us because of the Bill's Business Chamber trying to be revamped. So
yeah,
the district council should be in contact, or you can reach out to them, would be helpful because they do have funding pots.
Lovely. No, that's good. And it was very, and so I'd had some discussions with the regeneration team at the district council, and they provided some feedback, and we'll kind of link people in with their regeneration team as well. We had a gentleman who came who was part of the Staffordshire Moorlands Chamber of Commerce, so he stood up and spoke, and that actually was quite was beneficial actually to, you know, he talked about some of the opportunities that are there. Some of the businesses provided us with really useful feedback in the sense that they wanted the opportunity to come together more often and be part of a kind of, even if they just received email updates from us about things that we understood. So one of our actions really should be the creation of a business newsletter. And, you know, even if you can't come to the meetings or actually you don't think that's for you, you could very easily read something that pops into your mailbox and think, oh, actually, there's a grant there that's for me, or there's some support there with social media, or there's, you know, we can link people in with things that are specific to Biddulph or further afield. Businesses want support with grant applications, marketing, business administration. Local businesses are interested in apprenticeships and skills programs, so there's some work that we can do there. They want to be integrated better with local services, and as I say, more regular networking opportunities. A recurring theme was that many businesses feel they don't know what they don't know. They benefit from more kind of structured opportunities to engage with us. And so we had thought that if we, as you see from the events plan, if we could do quarterly business breakfasts, put those dates in advance so that people have got those in their calendars. Mostly interested initially in discussions about kind of wellness in the workplace, information on kind of part-time work opportunities for young people and students, promotion of local networking events, and kind of clear communication between different groups within the town. So we'd like to kind of get those scheduled in and then to continue to build these relationships. But it was a very, very positive meeting that, you know, really well attended as well.
Excellent, thank you. So moving on to item 57, feedback from the Biddulph Works Together meeting.
Yeah, it's just you'll have read from the notes, but I just wanted to bring it to you more specifically. There's we're unsure at the moment whether whether the household support fund will continue in the next financial year. So this is where we had made, so as a team, we've made referrals to household support fund, where people can have some extra funds and extra support where they're really struggling. So there's some uncertainty about that going forward. We also had some discussions about the food bank, potentially looking at a piece of work to see what could support those people who routinely ask for food bank referrals. and it's become a kind of way of life for them. So I think there'll be some work going on over the next few weeks and months about how potentially we work with those people who had access to the Household Support Fund, who may not, beyond April, be able to do that again, because that has been a really useful resource to kind of get people out of some really challenging situations, and also to have some discussions about how we make referrals into the food bank and how they manage those referrals as well in terms of kind of long-term usage, really. So I kind of wanted to raise those with you as issues, just not, big issues, but for you to be aware about in terms of kind of how our community is accessing support going forward.
Okay, right. Councillor, do you want to come on that? No. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. Public buildings subgroup.
Yeah, so we're aware as a Biddulph Works Together group that there are people in our town who pose, and we're not many people at all, but pose a risk to those people who work in buildings that are publicly accessible. And at the moment, we don't have a mechanism for sharing some of that information, which potentially puts our colleagues and our communities at risk. Now, I need to do some more work on this. GDPR guidance comes in there, and at the role that we have with the police and the sharing of information. But I wanted to let you know about that piece of work and the potential to kind of potentially, we talked about having this kind of public building subgroup. So it would include the Methodist Church, where anybody can walk in, and this building as well. And the library had some issues with somebody, and they'd had to close prematurely because of that behaviour. So we'd like to move that forward in terms of just kind of coming up with some guidance that we can all follow to share some very basic information potentially, and to manage risk more effectively.
Right. Okay, thank you. So I think that concludes item 57, and that concludes
Councillor Rogers.
Sorry, Councillor Rogers and Councillor Lawton.
Just a very quick update. Thought the Chief Officer made it mention, it's from this committee originally. The information TV is up and running as from today on the front office, front desk.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, just information, that's all. It's actually working from today. We spoke about it for a good long time to have that TV fitted. It's there and running.
Right, thank you, Councillor Rogers. Councillor Lawton, Mr. Mayor.
Just before you close the meeting,
Yes.
should I to say how cheerful, how pleasant, creative, how far better than just a boring list. Well, thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Are you saying others are boring?
Yes, I think it's a
Sort of thing is in comparison.
huge amount of thanks to the immense amount of work that the office team have done on this, on all the officers. So yes, thank you all very much. And on that item, I shall call this meeting to a close. Thank you very much for attending.